This is very important and it's crucial to understand the whole story behind Florio and Shakespeare. You won't find this in any book about Florio and Shakespeare. Hi everyone, welcome back to John Florio channel. I am Mary and I'm here to talk about the great John Florio. This video is mind-blowing, it's very important, it will change your perception of both Shakespeare and John Florio. Don't forget to subscribe. You get all this research for free. The only thing you can do to support me is to subscribe. So please, if you want to help me and to keep making these videos, to keep researching, don't forget to subscribe, to comment, to share your opinions. I love to read all your comments in my videos. So let's start. In the last video I talked about the xenophobic environment in which John Florio worked and the attack that he received. I mentioned the second fruits 1591. John Florio wrote that he had a knife at command to cut his throat. So he basically received death threats. Why? Because an Englishman in Italian is a devil incarnate. So he basically told his readers that he received attacks because of his foreign origins. But was this true? No. Florio was lying. The reason why John Florio was attacked by his enemies is not because he had foreign origins. It's not because he was half English, half Italian. He was lying. This was one of the reasons why he was attacked. But the main reason why Florio received such harsh criticism during his career was because he borrowed and stole plots and stories from his colleagues and predecessors. Florio's works as first fruits, second fruits, these language lessons manuals had success not because Florio was an erudite writer, but because they were the results of borrowing and adaptations of the works of his predecessors. And this is the reason why he was hugely and heavily attacked by his enemies. But let's start from the beginning. So Florio's writing method was the real reason why he was attacked during his career, not because he was half Italian, half English. Why he wrote that? He wrote that because he was playing the victim. He wanted his readers, his patrons, in this case the Earl of Southampton, to support him. Of course, he wasn't telling the truth. Of course, he couldn't tell his readers and the patron, the Earl of Southampton, that these works were just borrowings from other people. He was playing the victim so that he could get the support of both his readers and his patrons. Yeah, he was very cunning. So Florio's writing method was the main reason why he was heavily attacked during his career, and its matches corresponds to the writing method of Shakespeare. Does this mean that Florio was Shakespeare? No, I'm not telling this. This is a complex story, but we will get to Shakespeare very soon. Florio's writing method has been described as the Megapie Approach. This is very important and it's crucial to understand the whole story behind Florio and Shakespeare. You won't find this in any book about Florio and Shakespeare. So listen very carefully and subscribe. Let's start from the beginning. Who were these enemies? Who really attacked John Florio. The people who attacked John Florio were the so-called university wits. This was the group of enemies that criticized and attacked John Florio. First of all, who were the university wits? University wits is an expression used to refer to a group of English playwrights and writers of the late 16th century who trained in university and became popular. Who were these people? Let's make a list. Thomas Nashe, Robert Greene, Christopher Marlowe, George Peele, these were the so-called university wits. What's the difference between university wits and John Florio? Well, it's very easy actually. University wits were writers who graduated at university. Florio didn't graduate. Florio never graduated. When he was a child, he went to college for a couple of years, but he never finished education. He never graduated. Florio didn't have any master. He went to Oxford. At Oxford, he worked as a teacher, and at the same time, he worked as a servant and was able to study, but he never graduated. Florio was a self-made man. That's the difference between the university wits and Florio. That's the difference between people like Thomas Nashe, Robert Greene, George Peele, Christopher Marlowe, and people like Florio. Second reason why they didn't like John Florio. Florio's works, First Fruits, Second Fruits, had a huge success, but they were the result of borrowing, readaptation of other people's works. This is what they hated. Why? Because university wits had a very different conception of making art. For people like Thomas Nashe, Robert Greene, when you have to write a work, you have to write something that no one else has ever written before. They didn't borrow. They didn't readapt anything. They wrote a work from the start, from zero. Okay? This is why they attacked John Florio, because Florio, when he wrote works like First Fruits, Second Fruits, he readapted, he borrowed. So people like Nashe, like Greene, like George Peele, when they read Florio's works, they find out that Florio borrowed from Boccaccio, Petrarch, Ariosto, and they were angry at the fact that Florio got such a huge success just by writing works that were the result of borrowing from other people. Third and most important fact. Yes, you can see it. The role of translator. This is the most important reason that led to the upstart crow attack. That's the most important. We will get to this. At the time, in the 16th century, translation was not perceived as we perceive translation today. Today we see a translator as a professionist, someone who translates a work from a language to another and make another great work, and he's paid for it. At the time, in the 16th century, translators were seen as magpies, were seen as plagiarists. At the time, in the 16th century, translation was seen as an act of plagiarism. It was not perceived as we see translation today. So translators were attacked because university wits, they were graduated, they went at a university, say, when you have to write a work, you have to write something new, not borrow. Because if you borrow, you are a plagiarist. Translators were not perceived as we see them today, as professionists, so they were perceived as people who plagiarized work. And Florio, who was a translator, who wrote language lessons manuals, he included stories, plots from his favorite Italian writers, Boccaccio, Petrarch, Ariosto, and they attacked him because they saw him as a plagiarist. That's the heart of the attack that these people did to Florio. They were envious of John Florio. And another reason was the fact that he was half Italian. So they thought, we are graduated, and he's not graduated. We write works from zero without borrowing. He gets more success than us. He is a plagiarist. We are not plagiarists. He is even half Italian. We are 100% English, and he is more successful than us. This is the reason why they attacked John Florio. But when John Florio brought second fruits, of course he didn't write that they attacked him, because he was perceived as a plagiarist, as someone who borrowed plots and stories from his colleagues. The main core for Florio was to play the victim. Oh my God, they're attacking me because I'm half Italian. So you understand that this is the heart of the whole story that gives life to the upstart crow attack that Nashe will do in the Growth War with to Shakespeare. We will get to this because this just happened a couple of years before. Second fruits in 1591, the Growth War in 1592. And this whole criticism and attacks toward Florio just happened in those years. So it's all connected. This is the magpie that is adorned with the feathers of the peacocks. This is an image borrowed by Ovid's Metamorphoses. This image was used at the time as a symbol of translators, and it was mainly used by the university wits, people like Thomas Nashe, Robert Greene, Marlowe, George Peele, who were envious or translators who were mainly foreigners, who were stealing the job of English people, and they were borrowing and readapting works of their predecessors. The most important and huge attack that they did was to the most famous and successful translator of the time, John Florio. In the next video, I'll show you first the writing method of Florio, how he borrowed from his predecessor, which matched Shakespeare's writing method, and the whole attack of the upstart crow beautified with our feathers, and how Florio replied, because there is something that you might have forgotten or you never thought about. In this whole upstart crow attack that Thomas Nashe and Robert Greene did, Shakespeare never replied. But someone else replied for him. His name, John Florio. Stay resolute. Bye.